With pick 134 in round 4, the Denver Broncos select Q Robinson, edge rusher out of Alabama. So let's tell you everything you need to know about Robinson and then my thoughts on the pick in Denver's draft altogether. First thing is, when you see edge, it can be, I would say misleading, but a very, broad term. In this situation with Denver running a 3-4 defense, he is going to be an outside linebacker. He's 6'4", 243. So just does not have the size to play as a defensive end like Zach Allen, for example. Now, he played his entire career for the Crimson Tide. He was there for 5 seasons altogether. He didn't really even start. He didn't start a game until his last year. He missed the last 4 games of the season with an elbow injury. But he's got good athleticism to his game. He's got good outside linebacker size when it comes to his height and his length. He's not going to have the biggest strength at 243, but he flashes the get off, the burst, the bend a little bit as well. He's going to be on the slender-ish side, and so that can cause him to get pushed around or maybe not be the best at setting the edge. From a production standpoint, it's really not there. I mean, he didn't really see the field much at all until his 4th year with the Crimson Tide. In his entire Alabama career, 5.5 sacks and 9.5 tackles for loss. So this is a traits bet, not a, hey, we've seen him do it, but can he do it at the NFL level? So not a lot of experience, but there's something, raw here that could be developed when you look at the athleticism. And in round 4, that's not a bad bet to make right there. So as a rotational player, he played the Wolf edge position for the Alabama defense last year. He saw a grand total of 370 defensive snaps in his entire 5-year career for Alabama. For reference, Travis Hunter last year played in just 1 year, 4 times that. So that's just a scale right there. But overall, I like the pick because I like going with cornerstone positions in day 3 of the draft if you think there's a good player out there. It's a little bit of a head scratcher, just that head scratcher seems a bit dramatic, but a little bit puzzling because you took an edge rusher with your last pick, but that was Savion Jones out of LSU, who was a defensive end. But we're going to look at the entire linebacker room where Robinson will slot in and see, whether or not there's a spot for him to quickly ascend. But if you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're less than 300 subs away from 35,000. So if you have not made the decision to join the #1 Broncos Draft YouTube channel, do it right now. Click that subscribe button. Get more coverage for the rest of the 2025 NFL Draft and beyond. Now, here's what Denver has done so far in the draft. Jahdae Barron, corner from Texas. That's a best play. These are, best player available type pick, right? These are, hey, our guys. They fit what we want to do. We want a running back committee. So we're going to go with R.J. Harvey, who's got some, violence to his game despite his size, saying otherwise. Pat Bryant is like a Kirkland version of Cortland Sutton. And then Savion Jones is a good athletic defensive end from LSU who, somewhat similar to Robinson, didn't quite flash the production, but flashed the potential. That was someone Denver traded back into round 3 for. And then to open up round 4, they went with Q Robinson. They also have, I believe, just one more pick in round 6. So Denver is running short of draft ammunition at this point. But let's take a peek at the Broncos just front 5 in general, see where Robinson is going to call home, because at 243, he ain't playing 5 technique. He's not putting his hand in the ground. I think he's going to be a rotational outside linebacker. It's a little bit of a puzzling pick because you have 4 outside linebackers. Jonathan Cooper, Nick Bonito, 2 guys who are going to be here for the long haul. Jonah Ellis going into year 2, who had a sensational rookie season. I think he led all rookie. Now, he didn't lead all rookies in sacks. He did something that was noteworthy, though. DeAndre Tillman was a UFL, whatever that spring league was, star, comes to Denver, and he makes a pretty good impact in that Buccaneers game. So Robinson's going to slot in behind Ellis. You had 4. Do you need 5 rotational edges? I guess when you're in round 4, if you feel like, hey, this guy's too good of a prospect to pass on, we'll figure out where he fits in, down the road. But we're in the business of getting the best football players. That I can make sense of. but I felt like there were still some other good players available that would have been bigger, positions of need for you. So I'm not here to say I know more about Q Robinson than Sean Payton and George Paton, but I am here to say it doesn't take a rocket scientist to go, you have 4 outside linebackers. I think Robinson's best chance of really seeing the field is pushing Dondre Tillman for that other edge rusher spot. I would have gone with like a Marcus Bowe, Purdue offensive guard, unless Denver thought he was just cheeks. I thought adding a little bit more depth to the interior offensive line. Ben Powers could be gone after this year, so you might find a replacement for him in day 3 of this year's draft. Let him practice and develop for a whole year, and then he steps in and takes over in 2026. Or maybe he pushes Luke Wattenberg for that starting center job. That, I think, would have been maybe a better use of this pick, just given the already, depth you have at that spot. But that's not the first time Denver has made a pick where they have a lot of depth. Before we look at my other thoughts and the latest on Robinson from Dane Brugler at The Athletic, quick shout out to our great sponsor, House of Atlas. House of Atlas is a brand new razor company that is sponsoring today's show, and they just hit the market. They gave me one of their razors to try out, and it's honestly the nicest looking razor I've ever owned. It shaves my face great thanks to 5 high quality blades. Now, one of the great perks of House of Atlas is they've got this awesome shaving cream, thick formula that shows me where I'm shaving and leaving my skin baby bottom soft. And also, I love how the premium razor kits come with magnetic storage hooks that you can attach to your bathroom mirror or medicine cabinet for easy storage. And now, for a limited time, they are offering 15% off your first order when you purchase any razor kit and the before and after set, which includes the precision shave cream and calming aftershave. Use code CHAT at houseofatlas.com. That's HOUSEOFATLAS.com with promo code CHAT for 15% off your new razor kit and before and after set. Stop wasting money and time on shaving products that don't look good, aren't effective, and cost way too much. Visit houseofatlas.com today. Trust me, you're going to love it as much as I did. So I want to take a peek at what Dane Brugler had to say on Q Robinson, Denver's outside linebacker pick from Alabama, who was a rotational guy for them, started a total of 5 games in 5 years for the Crimson Tide, which, listen, when you play at Alabama, it's not super easy to get on the field with all the talent they have. Here's what Brugler had to say. Traits-based tweener prospect with potential as an edge setter. Although his lack of development is going to stick out like a sore thumb next to NFL players in training camp, his saving grace is his coverage talent on special teams, which might keep him on a roster as he grows as a defender. Okay, so let's kind of bring that part of his game into the fold here, because I did not know that he was a coverage special teams guy, which in day 3 of the draft, I'll tell you how it goes. Round 4, you're looking for guys who could become starters. Round 5, you're looking for players who could be good rotational players and good backups. Round 6 and 7, you are looking for good players on special teams. So sure, even if he just amounts to be a good special teamer and a good, backup, not too bad for round 4 of the NFL draft. But here's a guy that, as Dane Brugler points out, is a traits-based player that Denver is taking a flyer on. Maybe a little bit on the earlier end, but nevertheless, it's still solid to see them go after a cornerstone piece with a lot of tools in his tool chest. So looking at Denver's draft as a whole, what do you guys think of it? I'm a little underwhelmed, if I'm being brutally honest. Like, the Jahdae Barron pick could end up being a great pick. He's a great player, so you should probably just stop right there. But passing on Omarion Hampton is something that Denver's going to have to deal with twice a year at the Chargers. And if he scores a game-winning touchdown, people are going to be quick to remember, wow, that could have been on Denver. Instead, it's Jahdae Barron in a cornerback room that already had 3 starters in Riley Moss, Pat Surtain, and Jaquan McMillan. R.J. Harvey, he's a 5'8", 200-pound running back who runs with some nastiness to his game. I think he can help a little bit in receiving, but it would not have been my preferred pick. I would have gone with Caleb Johnson or Dylan Sampson before R.J. Harvey. Pat Bryant, he's a good body possession receiver. He's going to be able to come up with some tough grabs. He Kind of reminds me of what they did with Devon Bailey last year. He is not a vertical speed demon. He's not a yards after the catch monster, but he was a really good target for Luke Altmaier last year at Illinois. Then again in round 3, it's Savion Jones out of LSU. This to me is a very solid pick based on what you were looking to get when it comes to the defensive line, knowing that Zach Allen and John Franklin Myers are both entering contract years. So if you lose one of those two guys, Savion Jones, with a year of development during practice and a little bit of time during Sunday, can be ready to step into a starting role as early as 2026. And then last but not least, it is Q Robinson, Alabama edge rusher. So how would you grade maybe this pick or just Denver's picks altogether, whichever one you prefer? I'd give Denver's picks altogether a C+, and I'm going to give this pick right here a C. And I know that sounds really harsh, but keep in mind when you're in round 4, it's hard to get an A pick because you're not really finding a lot of A players at that point of the draft. So I'm definitely walking away from this draft going, Denver made some, bold moves, and I'm hoping they're right. And Sean Payton has done a great job since taking over. So who am I to say he's wrong and I'm right? But my honest opinion is no, I would not have made these same picks, and no, I'm not really seeing eye to eye in a lot of these selections. All right, that will do it for us on today's breakdown of this draft selection. Come back for their next pick breakdown and join us for our live coverage of Day 3 of the 2025 NFL Draft.